I'm Tim Malloy with the Civic Association. This is Palm Beach TV. The number of COVID-19 cases in Palm Beach County decreasing now. All precautions are being taken still and should be. The number of cases in the town of Palm Beach, 118 reported. We have lost 5 citizens to the coronavirus. With the numbers decreasing, there is talk in the county of moving to phase 2. What would that look like? Here's Wendy Rutledge.
Tim, about 50 people showed up to speak at this month's county commission meeting, a lot of them sounding very desperate business owners and working people, all of them begging the commissioners to reopen into phase 2. And while the commission did agree that it would move to phase 2 with the governor's permission, which is expected, the pace of that movement into phase 2 is going to be anything but fast.
Since August the 10th, the numbers have steadily been going down. We've been under the 10 since August 4th. We have been below the state goal of the 10%. And since August 17th, for 14 days, we have been able to be at that 5 range. And certainly 3.49 is very, very good.
That is good news about the county's falling positivity rate for COVID-19. At below 5%, it is well within the county's own guidelines for moving to phase 2 reopening. But according to scores of very vocal citizens addressing commissioners, letting businesses open back up is long overdue.
Please explain to me the data that you have that shows me where keeping the 80 people in my restaurant from 11 o'clock at night until 2 o'clock in the morning has ever affected anybody's life, has ever taken anybody's life or gotten them sick, because you have no data of that. But yet you're taking away my livelihood based on bullshit.
Many of these business owners, and you've heard from many of them, they're struggling. Their families, they can't feed their families. Now the federal funding is now over, so they get $275 a week, which, as I'm sure you can all realize, living in Palm Beach County, $275 does not go a very long way. So many of them are struggling.
Those 89 employees and 100 kids, we need to make sure that they're able to survive financially. So we need to move to phase 2. As a full phase 2.
After much debate, county commissioners did vote to move to phase 2, but in increments beginning Tuesday, September 8th. On the 8th, bowling alleys, movie theaters, playhouses, skating rinks can all open at 50% capacity. Restaurants will be able to operate at 50% indoors, 100% capacity outdoors with social distancing. Businesses allowed to open at full capacity include gyms, museums, and libraries. Certain businesses, though, will not be allowed to open until October 19th, and only if COVID positivity numbers remain low. Those include auditoriums, bingo parlors, comedy clubs, and concert houses. Even with the slower-paced Phase 2 reopening, citizens received this stern warning.
Please allow me to stress, because I cannot stress it enough, that by moving to phase 2, we do not mean to imply that COVID-19 pandemic is over. It is not.
For the Palm Beach Civic Association, I'm Wendy Rutledge reporting.
So what does this mean to the town of Palm Beach? Could we go it alone, not do what the county says we should do or advises we should do? I talked to Maggie Zeidman, the head of the council.
You're 6 feet away, so
Yeah.
it's probably easier to hear me. Just stay back.
I will. I'm back.
Okay, so here's the thing. They're going to review the, what I think is a very thoughtful approach to their phase 2 incremental in 5 phases reopening. And it has identified dates. It will affect Palm Beach in terms of retail, because as you move through the plan, you can have 100% capacity in your stores. I don't think that's a problem, because our stores we wish they were busier, but they're not that busy. And I think people have learned to be distant from one another. People will still be wearing masks. Those are the important things. Those are the laws that we have to govern ourselves with for the next year until we get through this.
If you decide you don't like the way it feels or looks on your own unilaterally, can the town say, look, we're going along with this, but now we're not?
Yeah, the town can. The town can be more restrictive. You can't open things up quicker, but you can always be more restrictive.
Now that more venues are opening up for business again, that means closer contact with other people. Wendy Rutledge talked to Dr. David Dodson, one of the leading people on infectious diseases.
Tim, Dr. Dodson, whose specialization is infectious disease, really brought it back to a very simple reality. Bring people back together again in closer proximity, and the virus will spread.
We talk about all these phase 1, 2, and 3 openings, but the bottom line is if we put people together, the virus will infect new people.
I mean, how do you keep yourself safe given what you just said prior?
If you put yourself in a position where you're at a bar or a restaurant and there's somebody nearby, or if you go to church and whatever opportunity there is, the virus will still infect.
The virus is still around.
The virus is still around. The virus is going to be around for the next year and a half. So we're going to have to keep wearing our masks and doing the social distancing for a long period of time. It's not just going to go away by Christmas.
Opening up schools in an age of a pandemic is a monumental task and worry. Wendy Rutledge visited Rosarian Academy, where they've given a lot of thought to this. Here's a report.
Talk about a monumental task. Well, that is what schools are facing this year as they try to bring back students and teach them effectively while protecting them and their staff from coronavirus. But here at the Rosarian Academy, they are employing this year some very new and interesting technology, as well as a whole lot of careful planning. It's back to almost normal at Rosarian Academy.
The kids are assigned to teams at home, and what they're doing is they have sharing a Google Doc and putting their answers in.
So they're connecting up here, they're talking to them right here?
They're talking to them over the computer.
Rosarian is offering both in-class and distance learning for their students. Of the 300 kids who attend, 85% chose to come back to the classroom. But those 15% of kids who are learning at home are live participants in classroom activities.
So these two students are at home, and when she asks them questions, and the entire class can see them as well.
So it's about as interactive as you can get.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Temperature is normal.
Both teachers and students get their temperatures checked before they come in. 70 hand sanitizer stations have been installed. Students have been spread out not only in the classroom, but in available space across the campus.
Eliza, social distance.
All students, teachers, and staff must wear masks all day long, and gentle reminders to social distance are a part of the new normal. But so far, the kids have shown no resistance to these measures, in large part because they're so glad to be back. A lot of them have been separated from other kids for a long time. Did you see, even behind the mask, a little bit of joy as they ran back into the...
Not a little bit, a lot of joy. A lot of joy, a lot of saying, remember, 6 feet apart, put your arms out.
As the peak 2 weeks of the hurricane season approach, Mother Nature is living up to predictions. There are 4 tropical systems swirling in different places of the Atlantic. None of them pose any threat to Florida right now. The 2 just coming off the African coast will be worth watching in the next week or so. But for now, we are looking pretty good. It is a tough pill for a lot of beachgoers to swallow, the closure of beaches. But these are very uncertain times, so no chances being taken. The town has decided to close all public beaches, guarded and unguarded, and public access points during the Labor Day weekend. That's September 5 through 7. Phipps Ocean Park, except for the tennis center, as well as the green spaces adjacent to Midtown Beach, will also be closed on these dates. I'm Tim Malloy for the Civic Association, where membership matters. If you are a member, we hope you will renew. If you're not a member, we'd love to have you join us. And we advise you again, as we do every week. I'm 10 feet away from my cameraman, Philip Baldwin, right now, so I don't wear a mask, but I do around town. Please wear a mask. That rule is still being urged on everyone. Please do it. For others, if not for yourself. We'll see you soon, and we leave you again with a placid Atlantic Ocean.